wait a few seconds here before people start coming in. We are live from the showcase page on YouTube. No Dan Badandi. He's taking some planes, trains, and automobiles today. But on that note, welcome to another edition of the Showcase Pod. We are live. Chris Blackheart, you're on location. I'm on location on this kind of eve of the 4th of July, uh, 250-year anniversary of the United States.
Well, I mean, in Rhode Island, they're not celebrating it. I heard a lot of excuses of why there wasn't a lot of festivals put on by states and or cities, but it feels like a holiday to me.
I
And
mean, it is a holiday.
I'm gonna throw it out there. And I know there's a lot of haters out there. It, it doesn't matter who the president is; it's still the United States.
Yes,
And the
indeed.
fact we are celebrating the whole United States, the history, the good, the bad, the growth, and where we are today. It has
Yeah.
nothing to do with the gentleman in the White House. That just happens to be the captain right now.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a big one. It's 250 years
Yeah.
celebration of the United States. I mean, that's almost halfway there to 300. So
Well, but I just don't understand. Like, yeah, this is a wrestling podcast and we don't get into politics, but to me, it feels like a holiday, and I think a lot of people are jumping on board and thinking of the good things the United States have done, not just the stuff that the guy in the White House has been doing, and it just boggles me on that. No matter
yeah,
who's
it
in the
doesn't.
White House,
Yeah.
it comes a celebration of the United States and the history and the struggle of what started 250 years ago and the struggle that still continues to, the land of the free, the brave.
And
I don't understand people.
it wouldn't be normal if there wasn't a struggle. You know what I mean? There's a struggle every day we get out of our houses to go
Yes.
out and get ends meet, and everybody does it. And yeah, we're celebrating here. We are starting here on this live showcase pod. You know, I know Blackheart's gonna be having some hot doggies and hamburgers. Hopefully, some cold brews in the agenda for this weekend. Or
I have not gone down the full menu to say the least, but
okay.
I know there will be beer in the future.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yes.
So we're gonna have to get hot doggies and hamburgers when you come back. But on
Yeah. Yeah. And there's no handshakes on those.
on that note, on other news, we start with some WWE news. We had Monday Night Raw this past Monday on the Boardwalk in Atlantic City, and we had some of the alumni of Showcase Pro Wrestling on hand. I know Kill Crew member Brian Starr was there, and also young Jordan Moses was on hand backstage. So you know.
That's correct. He made the drive from New England, Rhode Island,
Yeah.
down to down there. So that was great. And as it comes down to opportunity, I was watching Raw afterwards because we normally run practice on Monday nights, and I was looking forward to see something. And supposedly they were scheduled to do something and got caught at the last minute.
Yeah,
You
so
know,
it happens in wrestling.
yeah,
Things change in a heartbeat. So we'll see what happens. I know if you watch also the night before Slammiversary TNA Wrestling, you might have seen some familiar faces there.
I
Uh,
did. I saw the conspiracy one.
it
Shia Shabo.
might be a conspiracy. I mean, uh, we might have a conspiracy gathering pretty soon. He
Yeah,
does tell me he enjoys Puerto Ricans and Puerto Rican food. So, uh,
well, you might as well throw it out there. When I looked at the picture, when I was doing my own research, if I'm not mistaken, somebody very familiar was behind Shia Shabo.
well, could have been somebody that looks kind of like this gentleman right here. But yeah, I mean, Slammerberg, it could be. Who knows at this point. But Slammiversary, a big one for TNA Wrestling there, live from the Agganis Arena in Boston. Good crowd on hand there, and we saw a lot of surprises. New TNA champion Nick Nemeth once again defeating Mike Santana for the TNA World Championship. A new women's or knockouts champion, Saya Brookside, the daughter of Robbie Brookside. Who's that guy? You
Uh,
know,
has he
one
done
of the
anything or?
one of the trainers at the Performance Center, Robbie Brookside. A superstar from the UK. His daughter, TNA Knockouts champion. The Moose getting his big revenge over Eddie Edwards in a crazy matchup. Family got involved, all that good stuff that always brings the highs and lows of the story. We saw the return of the X Division matchup, with the structure there. Bell hangs from the middle of the ring, and Cedric Alexander retaining his title there. And we also saw the return of one of the original pioneers of the X Division, the X match, Amazing Red, return for that big match up there. And it was officially announced that he'll be inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame this year at Bound for Glory. Did you get to see any of that, Chris Blackhart?
I did. I saw some clips, and I do like the New England ties, and even the ties to the Northeast.
Yes.
Am I going to give you kudos? Yes. I give Shai Shabo credit? Yes. But then you also look, Eddie Edwards, Alicia Edwards, Amazing Red, a lot of
Hey,
New England ties that people
hey,
forget that, with TNA. So just seeing that, it makes to me it makes the area proud, and you like to see the, as we talked about earlier, the struggle and where people are now and how long they've been there.
yeah, and even Johnny Curtis remains to be a
Yeah.
mainstay there behind the scenes and also involved in that match there with the system. So a lot of ties to New England wrestling throughout the years. A lot of not to again, kind of pat New England on the back, but throughout the decades, there's been a lot of stars that you watch now on TV wrestling that are all New England-based talent. A lot of top stars. So, kudos to all those guys for keeping New England a strong base for professional wrestling. And speaking of strong base for pro wrestling, we got a new champion. Sami Zayn finally gets it done. Chris Blackheart.
Well, I know we don't have the list, but if I'm not mistaken, I did reluctantly choose Sammy to go over,
There you
and that
did.
I
You
did, and
did.
I was surprised, and some days, and this is where people are not going to like it. Some days the office does what the office does because it's the right thing to do to give people opportunities. And do I believe Sammy was the right guy to be put in that opportunity? Not really. But did he take advantage of it? Absolutely. Is he running with it? Absolutely. So for all the years up and down the road, from all the stuff he's done, in wrestling, he got the biggest prize that we've all strived for in any manner. So I have to congratulate him. How
Yeah.
can you not?
So,
You
I
know,
mean, definitely a
and
guy that
some
deserves it.
Yeah,
Mm.
and some, we talk about this when we go over talent and booking. It's not always who you think goes over. Some days it goes over because it goes over.
Yeah.
And I think Sammy was that guy. He's been there for so long, and anything they ask him to do, he does. Um, and now he can put his name in the record book for one of the guys who held that title. It doesn't matter. Now it's been what 6 days, almost six
Yeah.
days. So guess what? There's been champions who've had it less. So
So I think, I'm wondering if that's gonna, open the door to the road to WrestleMania, and obviously him winning the title in Saudi and WrestleMania being there. Is he gonna have longevity leading to WrestleMania with that title? Is that why they went with Sami Zayn? A lot of people surprised that Sami Zayn beat in a
yeah,
triple threat matchup. He beat Cody Rhodes. We talked about it last week, and we kind of said if Sammy pulls the upset, he might do it on Gunther.
Yeah.
But no, he ended up pinning Cody Rhodes to the surprise of a lot of people. So
Yeah,
you
yeah, and I just say doing is the good part about it shakes it up. And some days on paper, a guy may not be the greatest champion on paper, but when you give them the opportunity, they run with it. And
so
that's what I want to see in the hopefully the weeks and months to come. Let's see how he runs with it, and let's see at the end how it all comes out.
well, we'll find out, and we'll go over the full results of Night of Champions. Is it King of the? Was it the King of the Ring? I know Oba Femi beat Jey Uso.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'll be honest. When I was watching clips of that, I thought Jay pulled it off, and I'm like, okay, that
yeah,
I did not see.
yeah, they had stuff. I think he advanced to the finals,
Yeah,
and he kind of cut a promo on his way back to the locker room that kind of seemed like he had just wrestled Obafemi, and that's what we saw. But
yeah.
Obafemi is a new King of the Ring. We'll go over full results when we're back with Danny because he's gonna be buying. I think Danny's gonna be buying pizza. I think he came in third. Uh,
Yeah, Danny, I think there's since the weather has been steaming up to 100 and plus, anything over 90, I think the new bet should be beer and pizza.
well, we'll find out who
Yeah.
came in third next week here when we go over the full results of that event there. Moving on to 2 weeks from now, we're back in action. Showcase Pro Wrestling back in action. You want to go over some of those dates that are coming up, Chris Blackheart?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll go over a lot of people were questioning why we took such a long time off, or it feels like a lot of time off.
Yeah,
If I'm not mistaken, the date was the 7th and 8th. We were in Taunton and then we're in Woonsocket. Now, the problem this time of year, you have graduations, you have graduations parties, and you also have people getting ready to get out of school. So there's a lot of outside factors. And then this week, typically we would have ran this week, but you have 4th of July.
yeah,
And 4th of July, same thing. It is typically, unless you're doing it at a festival, you're
yeah.
probably,
As part of an event. Yeah,
yeah, you're normally not going to run a show because people are celebrating, they're having cookouts, they're going away for the weekend. So that's why we delayed it to what we delayed it for so it would be Saturday. Well, let's do on Friday the 17th, when in Woonsocket. A
yeah.
couple of matches that we would go over, a couple of announcements between the Woonsocket card. You're gonna be live in action, defending your title, which hey, I gotta send me after this, I gotta ask you some questions. I got some questions on that regarding you and that title.
Go ahead. I love questions.
Yeah. And then we go the next night, we go on the 18th. We are in the back of the gun club at White Bill's Gun Club.
So
And
that's
that is,
let's clarify because we've been over this, but
yeah.
we got some new viewers here. Is it Hoppington White? What is it? They
So,
just
all right.
clarify.
So it does get confusing because when we started this last year, so is Whitington Gun Club, which it is like a suburb or a section of Hoppington.
Okay.
So if you put Hoppington in, you will find the gun club.
All right.
And literally, for those who don't know, right when you come off the highway, if you're going 495 north, right when you come off the exit, go straight for about 4 miles. At the blinking light, take a left, go down about 2 miles, and it's on the right. And you
So
will see signs out there. It was a pro wrestling live July 18th at 3 p.m. So the bell time is 3 p.m. It is an outside show. So, like last time, if it does rain and if it stops raining at 2 o'clock, we will not be having a show. So, this is why you have to subscribe to SP Wrestling on all the social media and be on our fan page, the fans of Showcase Pro Wrestling, to get the update if some reason there's any change. Now, what won't change if some reason it is like today, 90 degrees, 100 degrees, 103, we will still have pro wrestling.
yeah. That doesn't change unless
That does not change. That
unless
will
it's
not
rain.
change. Yep. And then
Uh,
the following weekend, you look at Rentham, which is the 25th. That's an outside show with American Legion. That is again is at 3 o'clock bell time. That is an outside show. Same thing. It's literally down the streets from the Rentham outlets. So the good part about that, you can go shopping there first, go to the wrestling show, and then when the wrestling show is over, you can go back and pick up what you didn't want or return it or go shopping afterwards.
well, going back to Hoppington, if you look closely and good enough, you might find a piece of Blackheart or something that Blackheart leaves on the road. I mean, we know last year you had a little trouble getting up there, and
Oh no, you will not be finding a bumper that comes off of what was that? Was that a Suburban or
it was an
Tahoe? As an
expedition.
expedition, yes. And
Yes.
just to let you know, because that was a giant rib. You got they did have a camera where I picked up the vehicle and it did find out that somebody else got in an accident
Yep.
and they wanted to blame it on me.
Yeah, they want to pull the fast one on you. That's why I told you they gotta, they got the thing was already broken. The hinges was broken on the plastic cover of the bumper. So
Yeah.
uh,
So, but did that scare the crap out of me? Absolutely. Because here, so legitimately, I got out of the rental place, driving down 95. I hear a noise, right? And it didn't sound right. So I'm looking like, through the mirrors, and this one had cameras everywhere. I see nothing. And then I'm leaving to pick up the trailer. I'm coming off the highway, and people are giving me signs, like
yeah.
go like that. I'm like, I don't see anything. So
Well,
I pull.
usually Blackheart's getting signs, but signs that we can't do here on YouTube.
Well,
Uh,
yeah, I just thought
from
people were,
people, from
giving
people,
me a
but
couple of birds.
yeah, yeah. But
But then when I
kind of like
did
in
pull
Boston
over,
when you were first driving. This is why I didn't believe you at first. We got to
yeah,
rewind this back. 20 years ago when Blackheart
yeah,
first drove the trailer in the middle of Boston traffic. Uh,
yes.
he was getting greeted by the people in Boston not so nicely. So
No, well,
I
okay.
doubt it.
So I will embellish to make you happy on that one. So that was the first time we were driving a trailer, right? It was it me, you, was your dad with us?
I don't know. I think he might have been, or it could have just been me and you.
I can't remember, but we're not sure how to go in. Was at the Heinz Convention Center for
Yes, it was.
anime.
Yep.
We don't know how to get in, so I think I went down like Lansdowne Street the wrong way,
Yep.
and I had to do a U-turn with a 20-foot trailer behind me.
Yep.
So yes, and I am not a Boston driver, so yeah. So anything I got, back
Yeah.
in that was probably 2000 and was it 2005 maybe?
Yeah. Around that time.
Yeah, so
Circle.
anything I got there, I definitely deserved, to say the
Well,
least.
well,
But on this one, no. I looked like the whole bumper of the whole vehicle popped off. Like I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna take this off. And I did, and I literally put it in the back, and I know I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get so much crap when I
well,
pull up. Because guess what? Normal people would think you would have to cancel the show. Now I did call the company that I was renting the vehicle from, and of course their wonderful customer service, which was not based in the United States, had no idea what I was talking about.
probably a guy in India named Bill. Uh,
It could have been, but we went, we did the show. I'm driving in, and no one say anything, and then an hour or two later, you pull up, and I'm like, ah. And
yeah.
that's the part that I love in true wrestling fashion, right? No matter what it is or what the guys do, they gotta make the situation worse.
Well, I mean, judging by you can't blame me because, like I said, we got into it. Judging by the old
Yeah.
ways of Blackheart, I had to doubt. So I'm sorry for
No,
the
no,
doubt.
no, but how
I,
did you make it worse after that, right?
well, I
So
mean,
here Kathy comes, right? You graciously show her the vehicle,
Yep.
and then you graciously mention, "Oh, by the way, congratulations on your new vehicle that you have to buy."
Well, she wasn't so happy about the new vehicle. I just don't understand. It was a nice truck.
Yeah, it was just, but in true wrestling fashion, we don't make it easy on our friends in the business. When you see something happen, you just gotta continue and make
Oh,
situation worse. And it's even better when you start ripping the people around.
oh yeah. I mean, it's all in good fun. And
Yes.
we enjoy it. Let me go really quick to the comments here. Sarah, probably butcher the name. Sarah. I'm just gonna say Sarah. She says hi. It's me, Summer says hi. Amanda Maynor says hi. Baby Joda's tuning in. He says hi as well. He
Yep.
says, "What a souvenir!
That's our Franklin fan. Hey, it's right down the street from Franklin, Yoda.
What a souvenir is to have that bumper."
No,
We
it was not a souvenir. I did not put that on a wall.
we have somebody joining us from Anchorage, Alaska, all the way from there. Hello to the people in Alaska. Uh, and yeah, I mean, well, moving on to you had some questions you said about the show coming up.
No, I know people were questioning your title defense. People was like, "Hey, Don Vega hasn't defended his title since," and I didn't have a date. I said the only thing I agreed with is that you did not defend it in June
Yeah,
because when we had the tournament in Taunton,
yes, we didn't
and I
have.
said we purposely when the tournament was designed, no champions were on it, except no singles champions
Yeah,
were in it.
so and,
So
and
you weren't in
People's
it.
Curve.
Rainbow Garfield weren't in it.
Yeah,
D Rex wasn't in it. So for those who are questioning, but on the other hand, give us credit that you were straight on the poster. And when stuff is advertised like that, it kind of means a little bit more to talent because now everybody knows that match is now happening. Unless if a bumper falls off, the match,
yeah. No, I mean,
should be happening.
couple of teeth might fall off, something else might fall off,
Huh?
but yeah, the match that match will happen, and I think instead of looking forward to it, if I was young Logan, I would kind of want more time for this thing to happen, but
Yeah, no,
unfortunately,
I mean,
the clock is
it's
ticking.
yeah, the clock is ticking. We also have the tag team match and the consistent ones versus your I could be. I mean, you spent the whole weekend with Shia Shabo, so
I
he could
mean,
be your new best friend.
we could be business partners. I mean, I could be looking over his back, if he needs the help from the Puerto Rican Kill Crew. I mean, we do know that that Punk Moccasin and his little buddy AZ, they have a little problem with us. Uh, they can get it too. So I mean, who knows what's gonna happen in Woonsocket?
Yeah. So I mean, and we are going to be announcing some matches coming up for obviously for Rentham and going back to the Gun Club. Those are being finalized this weekend, which is
Yeah,
perfect. Um, but yeah, no. So when Woonsocket is a hidden gem, so in the past we used to take the summer off for Woonsocket because at that time we had some obligations with some local events that we were doing. But for the last 2 years, we've been running Woonsocket, so there is shows, and the only difference in July and August is that the shows are on Friday night instead of Saturday because we have a couple of Saturdays events, and that's the main reason why we moved it so we can get those extra events outside compared to because obviously Woonsocket is our venue, is our center, so we do have flexibility. Could we have ran on Sunday? Absolutely, but I'm typically not a fan of Sunday shows. It just depends on the right location.
yeah. So that's going to be interesting there. The debut there in Rentham. We'll get into other dates coming up for the month of August here in the next couple episodes as the week the weeks goes on in the showcase pod.
Yeah,
Any other news? We had some news that we had sent in. I believe Eric Young was released or asked for his release right
yeah,
after Slammiversary, no longer with the company. Eric Young, and I also heard that he might be heading to WWE as a coach to NXT. So we'll find out and stay tuned for that.
yeah. I
There,
mean, and people don't realize that in the wrestling business is just not about being in the ring. And offhand, I don't remember how old Eric is, but he's probably in his mid to late 40s.
yes,
And you can't be in the ring all the time. And as we all know, in this business, some days you get more reward coaching and building and producing talent than some days just being in the ring. And the everyone says about the bump card. Maybe his bump card is there, or maybe he just is just feeling tired.
well,
You know,
either that or he asked for his release. Maybe he just noticed that there was no future in the booking there, and why keep using the card if it's not worth it? So
but yeah, and then people forget too. There's so many. I mean, it looks like he did it the right way, and I think this is where people forget that pro wrestling is a business. It is not like having a bad date. You have to have consequences on how you exit a company
yeah,
between being professional because the door is typically never closed, is very revolving. And how
yeah,
you exit the company is just as important as how you enter another company.
yeah. I
Because
mean, yeah, that can affect you if you burn bridges. So you know,
yeah, and the fact that a lot of companies, like if you look on between TNA, WWE, AEW, MLW, that on those companies they are revolving with different talent, different producers, different. I mean, obviously WWE has the Performance Center, but they all talk, and typically they've shared locker rooms together, shared the ring together, and that's typically how stuff is done. It is not a normal job interview that you send your resume. Your resume is your history of how you've been in the business.
yep,
No matter what you put on the paper, everybody knows typically what you've done in this business because of your reputation. So if you have a bad reputation, one, own it and try to change it, but know the fact that if you want to change it, it does not happen immediately because you want it.
yeah, yeah. It
And
takes time,
that's
just like anything else.
yeah,
But Eric definitely in. I wouldn't say he had his days limited or numbered in the ring because if you see Eric Young, he's in the best shape he's ever been. I mean, the guy is freaking ripped. But yeah, I mean, we'll find out what happens. I could see him being on kind of like a Ty Dillinger type role
yeah,
where he still gets in the ring and in the back at the behind the scenes he's helping train people and guide people. So uh we'll see if that happens. Going on other news, because Blackheart, I know we don't have Danny flashing the deal here, but we were talking about upcoming events. This one's coming up in the fall in October 10th to be exact. Powerhouse Wrestling will be returning to the Sturbridge Host Hotel Event Center in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, with a big night of wrestling action. Halloween Batch 2 will happen, and headlining that card, a guy that hasn't been around for a long, long time in New England, the villain himself, Marty Scurll, returns to New England and makes his Powerhouse Wrestling debut that night. A lot of people talking about it since it was posted on social media. Marty Scrolls is set to come, and we're gonna have words from Marty Scrolls here as the weeks go on, leading to that big show. Another name that was mentioned on hand that is gonna be on hand that night is the former Chase U educator, Andres Chase, will be in action that night. I wonder what the education leader, Mr. Christopher Spratt,
hmm,
has to say about this. I do hear that they were kind of kind of social in college. So we'll find out what happens when Andrew Chase also makes his Powerhouse Wrestling debut. It's a night of debuts, Chris Blackheart, because on that night, Big Wrecking Ball Legursky comes to Powerhouse Wrestling, and he's going to be making his debut as well. I will be defending, speaking of defending titles, the Powerhouse Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. And the lineup on that card and the matches will be announced shortly, and tickets will be on sale soon at ticket outlets, uh, including, I believe, Eventbrite. But that will be announced here in the next couple of weeks on the podcast. And another big, before we go off that topic, another big surprise star will be announced soon in the next couple of weeks that will be making his way to Halloween Bash 2 in Sturbridge match for Powerhouse Wrestling. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, those are a question, and we will be putting up the fall edition for Showcase Pro Wrestling. We do have events September, October. Obviously, Powerhouse is one of our sister promotions. We work close hand with them, so there's gonna be a lot of wrestling coming up between Showcase the next couple of months. Nothing is slowing down. Everything is picking up. We'll
Yeah.
be making some other announcements regarding different talent and different collaborations with various organizations. I'm not going to comment on that now. There was stuff running throughout the internet this week, but there's the stuff that has to be
Yeah, it has to be clarified
communicated.
before we move forward with that.
Yes.
But it could be a good thing. It could give us the outlet to have many talent traveling and bringing in other talents from other states and other promotions into showcase and the New England scene. So we'll see what happens with that in the next couple months. Any other news, Chris Blackheart?
No, I mean, the only thing I saw coming up this past week is WWE is supposedly going to make some other cuts again. It looks like it could be possibly more in the back office. And like I said, every other company in the world, they are modifying, and
They said they canning a few back office people.
yeah, that's what it looks like, and it happens because guess
Oh,
what?
this
The
could be
more
this could be a this could be happy times for me.
it could be what we won't comment or elaborate on that one, but you just never know. I mean, TKO, they've been on the helm for a little bit of a time now. They're starting to get the model of WWE, figure out things are working, good, bad, or indifferent. And is there a call?
Yep. So we'll see. We'll stay tuned for that to see the happenings there. Baby Yoda back in the comments here. Baby Yoda, whoop whoop. So he's obviously happy to the announcement of Marty Scroll there.
Hey, Baby Yoda, just so you go and tell everybody, we're back in Franklin. If I'm not mistaken, the date is Saturday, October 2nd.
Yeah.
All right,
So
so you
we'll
can you're gonna have a great weekend for
we'll
7
have
days.
we'll have all that information coming up here shortly. We got this other guy, Glock Farm 305 says, "Is this the trans meeting?" No, buddy, you got the wrong page. If you're looking for trans, you need to leave this live and go to some other live.
Yeah, yeah,
There's no trans here, buddy.
yeah.
So
I
yeah,
always like when people use fake names for things that they never use.
yeah, yeah. So I like Glock though.
Yeah.
I like that name. But yeah, moving on. I've heard today, I don't know how accurate this news might be or not, but Sasha Banks, your favorite women's wrestler, now known as Mercedes Monet, stated that she would love to return to the WWE if they include her into the Hall of Fame.
The only question I have on that one, if she had a good, I don't remember how long her contract was, but I'm sure it had to be 3 to 5 years.
Yeah,
And the amount of money, again, it was thrown out there, different various numbers. Somebody look it up.
I
Why
mean,
would you want to go back? I mean, it sounds like people, she had a lot of flexibility. She's doing a lot of side projects. But the question, even if everything worked out perfect, at this time, does she have that career right now to be worthy of it right now?
I don't know, man. My answer to that is probably no.
Yeah.
I mean, how long was she in a top spot in the WWE before? Was it the 3 years? I mean, she was
Yeah.
in developmental for a while, a few years there,
Yeah.
and she had some matches that main evented, NXT pay per views, those beginning pay per views there. But I mean, when you're talking about Hall of Fame, you're talking about somebody that has drawn money consistently, and has been consistently trendsetter in the company, and this is
Well, and
decades
that's
or
yeah. I mean, and obviously, I mean, WWE have put people in there the past that may not 100% reflect that. And I think as a talent, you want to be known that you got in there because of those strong merits,
yeah.
not someone who was just there to be in there.
Hmm.
And I think that's the difference. And I think in her case, I think down the line, there's no reason why she shouldn't be, but she's an active wrestler that just to go back to the company, I think would be good. But going back to the Hall of Fame,
Yeah, I
I
think she needs
this
to
way,
go back and do some more records and break some more records and make some
yeah,
more wins uh, before that even comes into fruition, and it even becomes a thing. Uh,
yeah. I mean, put it this way, I wouldn't be surprised if that is a legit post from her. That's her way to send out feelers that somebody would start talking
no, maybe
because
yeah. I mean, that's
yeah,
smart.
because if her contract again, I don't have my phone on me. I'm not googling to find out what her contract date was. So I'm sure anyone in the comments, if you bring that up, do it. But if her contract is up within the next year, then why would she not start to put those feelers out?
Yeah. So we'll see what happens and how legit was that, and if it draws any interest from WWE. I mean, I do think that she'll eventually go back. I mean, obviously, we had Paige at one point that they said that she'll never be back because of her injury and other reasons, and she's back there now. So uh, we'll find out what happens with that. Other news. I had something else that I sent over to the page there with the group chat, but right now we can't go back to that. So uh, I was thinking, uh, I was thinking some other news that I had there. Uh, Anything in your end that you remember offhand?
No, no. I mean, I know I sent a couple of stuff, and we already, we touched on the TNA stuff with Eric Young. Um, but yeah, I mean, stuff like I know one thing I put out there, and I put it on my on social media and some of the sites that you were in charge of is our favorite wrestlers. And it was funny to see people's not funny, haha, but different wrestlers meant different things to different people.
Yeah,
And I always like when you read the comments because a lot of it is when people grew up in the business, like watching it as a fan. And that's the part that I think is we have to remember is people watch it to enjoy it and it's really a part of their childhood. And when it can continue years later and decades later, and they can bring other generations, I think it's awesome.
yeah. Well, that's always a good thing. Now going back to TNA, since we brought TNA back up, BG James was on hand at Slammiversary, and he was doing some creative consultation. So we'll see if he's there for good in the next couple of weeks. I mean, I know TNA had their tapings in Albany as we speak now. I guess, they
Yep.
might be going on. So we'll find out in the next couple of weeks if the Road Dog is there as the new head of creative for TNA.
Well, and when you saw that a couple weeks ago when he was free from WWE, contract obligations, and with Tommy Dreamer being released, a lot of people thought that Sami Callahan was going to be brought up,
Yeah,
and why will they not bring if Road Dogg is available? He ran at a high level,
yeah,
and unfortunately, this is the wrestling business. If Sammy's spot potentially was to be that next guy to run creative, when somebody else is coming available at that high level, I mean, I think that's probably what happened.
yeah.
That
Most
Sammy
likely,
possibly could have been that guy, but
yeah. I mean, you're not gonna outdo Road Dogg. I mean,
right,
his accolades and his resume is a lot bigger and a lot
yeah,
deeper. So, you know,
yeah, no, and does this and this is what people some days don't understand about the wrestling business. It is constantly evolving and changing. And decision that I had yesterday may be different today based on what else happened in the industry today.
yeah,
And I wouldn't be surprised if that whole change of creatively was brought on the last couple of months because of the release and TNA cutting down some salaries and talent, and it comes down to relationships. If WWE does have more behind the scenes on this, why would they not want to use a guy that just came from WWE?
yeah, yeah,
And unfortunately, Sammy may not have the experience on the TV level. He may have creative great ideas, but he sounds like he may not have the confidence in the executives. And
well,
that's a totally different game than having confidence in the boys. The boys can have great confidence in you as an individual, but the higher ups, when they're playing with multi-million-dollar contracts, the people in the boardroom may not have the confidence, and that's probably why something like this did happen.
well, yeah, but us on the other hand, Sammy did was part already of creative there for a long time behind the scenes. He was already part of that whole board. He was already a guy that they came up to for ideas and also to confirm stories and all that. So he was already in the mix of that. He wasn't just coming in out of the woodworks.
No,
Uh,
no, no. I mean, he definitely earned his stripes, and it was a
so he was
valuable.
already there,
Yeah,
along with Dreamer and Joe Bravo and the other people that are
yeah,
behind the scenes at TNA. So you
yeah.
know.
So I mean, I'll say let's really evolve that situation. Look at it, and with everything, there's opportunity. Let's see with Sammy. Like, I don't know Sammy. I never worked with him. I don't know him. I know people who have and had great things to say to them creatively. We've some people we've had on the podcast before, and some people that we know currently work with him say great things about him. He's a great wrestling mind.
Yeah.
So let's see where the opportunity goes, and let's see both ways. Let's see if Road Dogg is the guy that comes up, and then let's see where that great wrestling mind goes.
Yeah, it looks to be that way as far as I saw and what's in the agenda right now. It looks like Road Dogg is the guy that's going to take over as the head of creative at TNA. So we'll find out what happens in the next couple weeks with that.
Well,
Uh,
yep, and well, look at that one right there. It's Santana. I did read that this week that
yeah, it looks like he's going
we're
WWE.
yeah, I mean, great for him. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't that contract available like 2 years ago? There was talks about him.
Yeah, there was talks about him. He decided to stay.
Yeah,
Which is probably smart at the time because they had too much shit going on at WWE at the
yeah,
time, as far as trying to elevate guys in different scenarios. And now him leaving and coming in, I believe there's an opening for Puerto Rican talent because you don't have Carlito there anymore. You don't really have anybody like that other than Damian Priest, which I consider to be like a gothic Undertaker gimmick. I don't
yeah,
consider him being the urban street Puerto Rican type dude. So
yeah.
uh, that's the spot for Mike, and hopefully it is what they're saying that he's gonna go straight to the main roster if he does join WWE. So
Yeah, well, good for him because he's a local guy, he's up and down, New England, the East Coast.
yeah,
So I mean, I every time you see that, to me, it's a little piece of our area goes, you
yeah.
know,
We'll
and
find out what happens
kudos.
there. Yep.
Well, even look New York, man. People like say New England's hot. I mean, New York is a hotbed of talent.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
There's many.
talk about paying your dues. We mentioned Amazing Red. Santana's one of those guys, paid the dues. There's no question
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. I mean, you look at going back to New York talent, like you said, Amazing Red was an original TNA guy. The SATs, which were the originators of a lot of the moves, a lot of the things you see in wrestling now. Those guys were the ones that originated a lot of those tag team moves and maneuvers. And they were originals of TNA wrestling. You know, you got the guys like Homicide and Low Key that were also New York guys that were at the top of TNA wrestling at that time. So a lot of talent from the tri-state area. So you know, speaking of talent and things that are going on, man, I saw it again, bro. I saw it again. These new vignettes with Leo Rush, man. That dude needs to be in the main roster of AEW ASAP, man. They if they keep him in Ring of Honor, they're wasting him. Have you seen any other stuff?
I've seen not as much as you have. I saw clips of them. Um, I got to watch more because every time we have this conversation, you put it over. You love the character. You love the reaction.
It's just like different elements, and I was like watching videos yesterday, and I could go back and connect different scenarios, different movies that I know he studied because of the way
Mhm.
that he his character speaks, and I know he gathered from different films, and I mean it's one of the best things on right now, man. That thing could be on their main show, and they could be having vignettes and different scenarios with Leo Rush. I just don't
Yeah.
understand why he's in Ring of Honor.
All right, I'll put that on my to do list.
So
That by next week, I'll watch a couple of his matches and the interviews and
yeah. So Baby Yoda says that Enzo and Cass are gonna be fire. Like fire means good, urban, not fire. Like they're gonna get rid of them.
yeah.
but
Well, if not, are they going to the main or are they going to NXT?
I don't know, man. It's there was the talks that they might have been going to NXT, and now the talks are that they might just be going to Raw. So
Well,
uh,
have you? All right, so that's what the third or fourth talent that's going back to WWE or
yeah.
going there for the first time.
And speak about a guy that they had said, "Oh, he'll never work for this
Yep.
company again." Speaking of Enzo, he'll never work for this company again. I mean, if you remember a few years back, he sneaked into one of the shows and got escorted out of the building from the audience.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about how the business changed, like it changes, like you said, in a heartbeat. Enzo's back.
Well,
So
the only thing I was just thinking when it comes to talent, bringing back, 3, 4, 5 talent that's been out there for a while. They built, they released for a while. They let them grow and come back. That could be a sign of they may not be happy with stuff up and down the roster.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like a lot of the we talked off air a little bit about some things we're not gonna expose, but a
Yep.
lot of this young talent, man, they've been put in predicaments that they're not ready in certain sense, and they have to bring the old guys back.
Yeah.
So
Well, not even over season, and and some days it's not fair to some of the talent that if
yeah, that's
they're
why I
just
said they get put in predicaments that they're not
yeah,
ready.
it's just not fair. So the
So
question: did you see the debut of or the run-in? I can say it is debut of the girl that you were fond of, the Puerto Rican girl, if I'm not mistaken. First name's Nikki.
yes, she's actually Dominican.
Yeah.
Uh Nikki Blackheart,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
the,
yeah. Gimmick infringement.
the long lost niece of Blackheart, Chris Ireland.
Oh, don't say that out there. My phone would be ringing.
Maybe some connection. Blackheart's like 75% Puerto Rican. He might have a 10% Dominican now. I don't
Yeah, it
know.
could be.
Yeah,
What
so
did no? Did you see her debut?
I saw highlights of her coming through the crowd and
Yeah,
putting the
yeah.
beat down on somebody.
She did the torture rack, and it looked like she was jumping up and down, and it looks like potentially
Did she injure
and
her knee?
that's what it looked like. But she did recover, and she did jump again, and then I haven't seen anything. So
Yeah,
I don't know if it was just bad footing on her part, maybe something shifted in the ring.
yeah,
But yeah, I got worried on that one.
yeah. And look, you know what it looked like though. I mean, when I saw the footage, it does look like something with the knee might have gone, a blown knee or something. But at the same time, it's also nerves because
Right.
if you go back to Batista, he was the highlight of many many weeks after his entrance at WrestleMania 35 when his knees buckled
Yeah.
and he fell. That's related to nerves.
Yeah,
So
no, so I'm hoping that's the case or
yeah,
just a slight bad footing.
yeah, she
Because
could have been nervous and lost her footing.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So I was, I cringe on those.
I mean, she is a big girl, impressive. As
Yep,
far as look, I mean, looks aggressive, works aggressive, which is something that they're
yep,
struggling with.
right.
Uh, so hopefully, there's no boo boo there, and she could go on and move forward from that and see what happens. Uh,
Yep.
that's another thing. So we're getting close here to the go home. Chris Blackheart for this week. Like we said when we started at the beginning of the show, on the eve of July 4th, celebration, the 250 years, the United States of America going on Saturday. Chris Blackheart said he's not going to be having hamburgers and hot doggies, but maybe some cold ones. On
No,
the
no, because this weekend I started walking the neighborhood collecting signatures we put on the ballot for
Yes.
state representative. So yeah, I gotta earn my cervezas this
Okay.
weekend.
All right. So
And well, that being said, if you go to the merchandise on Showcase Pro Wrestling, there is a couple of new shirts up there.
So gotta go to the merchandise over at
Yep,
showcaseprowrestling.com for that, for all the
yep,
good merch.
yep. And there will be some new stuff politically on there too that you can support the campaign.
Well, Chris Blackhart, now that you brought it up, we're gonna have
Yeah,
to have you as a guest, as a formal guest
yeah. No, that's more
in the
than fine.
showcase pod in the next couple weeks. And I'm gonna have to interview you, and you're gonna have to share your plans with the people.
That's more than fine. And ironically, when I was walking the other day, it's amazing the conversations you have with real people. And it's not what social media says, it's not what the media says. Real people, real concerns, and guess what? It's not even close to what people think.
Yep, it's
You
always
know,
that way. You just
yeah,
gotta meet people face to face and talk to people, and a lot of things will clear up if you do that more often than just hiding behind a keyboard or a computer
yeah,
screen.
yeah, or just listening to. It doesn't matter if it's local news, radio, but the social media feed is probably the worst. And talking to to parents and people different age, backgrounds, the concerns are real and the frustration.
Yep,
And the fact that we're coming up July 4th weekend, do you know what everyone said? Talking to them, they actually, they love the state being in Rhode Island. A lot of people I've met moved down to Rhode Island, out of staters, a lot of them from the Boston area. They
yeah,
moved down here for opportunity. And they believe in the opportunity and they want more people to have opportunity and literally the pursuit of happiness. So that, going back from what we saw at the beginning, it goes back to July 4th, opportunity for liberty, justice for all, and living the life that you want. And Rhode Island, is our home state, and it can still be there.
Yeah, I mean, and like you say, opportunity goes for everybody, not just the people in the background and the communities and the people that are not even involved in the politics. In order to make a change, you got to get out there and vote and give opportunities to new outlooks and new minds and new people that are willing to go in there and make some changes.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and that's probably the biggest one, and we'll get into it, down the line closer when it comes to the fall. If you haven't voted, make sure you're registered to vote, because if you move down here and you don't automatically do it when you renew your license, some people forget.
yeah,
And if you are, make sure it is a privilege. We forget it's a privilege to actually vote. And if you want change, you have to do it. So in the
yeah.
ballot
If you don't make
boxes,
changes, you can't complain.
yeah,
So
you can't complain. And more people that stay home means no problems are being fixed. And that's one of the biggest things. People like, I don't vote because something's going to change. Well, it doesn't change because you don't vote.
yeah,
And more people stay home and put the same people in over and over and over again.
yeah, especially locally. I mean, people don't realize you have to get out and pay attention to the local politicians and people involved in politics in your local communities because that's going to make your difference where you live at. So
Yeah.
definitely go out there, do your research, talk to the people running for positions in your hometown or in your home state, and give the opportunity to people to make changes, new faces and new thoughts, new minds. So,
Yep.
uh,
And one thing I'll tell people, because one guy said it to me, he goes, I vote in support based on the issues, not for the party.
yeah,
And that's a big thing. Start talking to the individuals, find out where they really stand, not what if it's typically a D and an R or an I. Ask them about their views, and also kind of like social media, you got to find out who they're hanging out with. If they're
yeah,
saying this one thing, yet they're doing something on social media,
yeah,
they're lying, and
yeah.
hold them accountable.
Yeah, you
That's
got
one
to do your
thing,
research. You got to do your research.
that I told people,
Yeah,
if I get elected, hold me accountable, because that's one thing politicians do not like. Is when people hold them accountable, and that's what it should be,
yeah,
because your vote is a trust in a process.
indeed. So, with that being said, that's a good way to wrap this up here this week in the Showcase Pod. We'll be back next week, hopefully with Danny when he returns from his feast, because I know he's gonna be having some hot doggies and hamburger
Oh
grilling some
yes.
hamburgers and he's gonna be owing us some pizza and we'll be back in the studio, hopefully not hot like today.
Nope.
Uh, but with that being said, stay tuned to all our social media at SB Wrestling, ShowcaseProWrestling.com for all the info, merchandise, tickets for the upcoming events. Starting July 17th, the 18th, and the 25th. All those dates are up right now. And follow us here on YouTube at SB Wrestling so that we can keep doing this every week, every Thursday night, live from YouTube. But for now, for tonight, for the Blackheart, Chris Island, and Don Vega. Happy 4th, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here next week in the Showcase Pod.